Well, howdy everybody, and welcome to another edition of Stockshow Confidential. I'm Terry Jordan. Well, as you can see here in Fort Worth, Texas, there's a little bit of a chill in the air, a little snow on the ground, but things are heating up over in the swine barn. We're going to take you inside and take a look at some tremendous hogs here from the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo.
Oh, you gotta be wiped off on this side. I'm sorry. I'm brushing my pig off. My pig's name is Prince. No, I'm gonna spray it. About that much?
Hey folks, we're ready to start up again with our camp. I'm calling from the south end of the swine barn, class number 12.
I'm here with Cody and Brinley Strain. Tell me how it went today, Brinley.
We had a fun time and my pig had to go on the trailer, but I still had fun.
So where else are you going to go this year? You've got other pigs at home, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What other stock shows?
I'm gonna go to San Antonio, I think, and
Maybe San Angelo too?
yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we're going to wish you good luck down there. How hard is it whenever you go in there to move a big pig around?
It's a little hard because they're really heavy, but it's fun.
Yeah. Cody, let's talk about your daughter here. What made you decide to get your girls interested? Because this is not the only one. You've got another one as well. But what made you guys decide to get in the pig barn?
Well, I had a friend that started 2 years ago, and I kind of always thought we would show steers because that's what I did. But just with her being so young, we wanted to try the pig deal for a couple of years, and she's really liked it. So I figure we'll probably stick to the pig deal now.
What do you think that your girls gain? Because there's so many things that you could put them in, whether it be cheerleading or basketball. There's a lot of different activities. What makes this so important?
I just like the fact that, you know, they get to see how the feeding works on the pigs and see them from when they're little babies and growing up, and, you know, just the feeding aspect, and just to see what all it does and what you can feed them, what you can change, and just that hard work and working with them really pays off.
Now, y'all show several different breeds. Here, what were y'all showing here?
Here we showed hamps.
Okay. And then you've also got a Burke that you're going to take on down the road.
Right, I've got a Burke, and then I've got a spot gilt that did real good at our county show, but we're gonna save her and breed her next year.
Are you trying now to go ahead and develop your own herd? I mean, or will you go out still and look at pigs from different breeders around the country?
No, we'll still go out and look, but we're going to try to, you know, raise a few of our own, me and the other two guys that are in this together, and just kind of see how that goes.
That makes it a lot more fun when you can come to one of these majors and bring one that you've raised and keep them on the dirt with some of these that people have paid a tremendous amount of money for.
Right, it really does, because, I mean, not only are you want yourself to win, but, you know, you can take interest in other people's pigs that you'd sold to people, and so it'll be really interesting.
Well, thank you guys for sitting down with Stock Show Confidential. I'm going to see you down the road. We always say that here's hoping we'll see you in the winter circle. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to see you in the winter circle one of these days.
Okay.
Okay, let's give a hand to these folks.
You're watching Stock Show Confidential. We'll be right back.
Sullivan Show Supply was established with the vision of producing more than just your ordinary show supply products. Whether it's fitting supplies you're looking for or the latest equipment, Everything you need to make it into the winner's circle is right here. Don't just take it from me, take it from them. Sullivan Show Supply will be here before and after the sale.
On this week's Sunglow Spotlight, we'd like to shine the spotlight on Emma Bedecker from Barrow, Illinois. Congratulations, Emma. I'm with David Kempen, and he's past president of the Texas Pork Producers Association, also chairman of the Texas Best Association. David, let's talk about that Texas Best Association. What does that mean, and how does that relate to the stock show?
Well, in the mid-90s, producers met and we developed a program for Texas breeders that would recognize Texas youth 4-H and FFA members that show Texas bred hogs at major livestock shows in Texas. Producers will record their pigs with the association, and we'll travel around the livestock shows finding those pigs in those classes, and then we recognize the top placing pig from a Texas breeder.
Now, those guys, there's some year-end awards for them as well if they win some of these shows. And then don't y'all also, these kids that win here, if that's a Texas bred pig, there's a little bit more money that's put back in their pocket.
The incentive right now for exhibitors is a $100 award, and then they receive a hat, trophy hat with being class champions. The breeders are also recognized with the Breeders' Cap, sponsored by the National Pork Board. And at the end of the year at our award ceremony, we'll recognize the top 10, and then we'll also recognize the breeders of the Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Barrows at all the major shows. A big boost to our program came in the early 2000s when we developed a corporate sponsorship program. We're currently sponsored by Lidner Feed and Milling out of Comfort, and breeders. Our San Angelo Livestock Show is an exclusive show for Texas bred Barrows and Gilts only, and recognize, have a long list of sponsors there in San Angelo that sponsor buckle and trophy awards.
Well, the pig deal is kind of close to my heart because it goes back all the way to 1972 here for me when I showed my very first pig here at Fort Worth. So I know this is a great pig show. Where do you see the evolution of what's happening within the industry?
In Texas, production is one of two types. We have large commercial farms in the Panhandle that represent probably 99% of the pork production in Texas, but only comprise 1% of our membership. The other 99% of our members are scattered out the state that produce 1% of the hogs that are primarily show pig production units, breeding hogs and that. So as this thing evolves, we see more and more our membership is increasing. We'll sell and record certificates on close to 10,000 show pigs a year, and our membership is well above 500.
David, let's talk about the Texas Best program and some career opportunities that there might be for young people to get involved.
Yes, sir. There's quite a few, really, and as I stated earlier, large farm production is in the Panhandle, and the opportunities for employment in those farms is extremely high. We have a scholarship program with the Texas Pork Producers that allows them to get scholarships towards animal science and ag-related careers.
If someone wants to get involved with the Texas Pork Producers Association, how would they go about that?
First thing I'd suggest is go to our website, texaspork.org, and there'll be a full list on the menu there of what we have to offer, how to join up. We have a pork conference in the middle of the summer. It'll be in Kerrville this year, Texas Pork Leadership Conference. Another program we have for youth, it will occur at the end of June, is our Pork Leadership Tour. We'll take 18 youngsters, junior and senior youngsters, and tour the state of Texas and go into Oklahoma and look at large production operations, harvest facilities, processing plants, and accumulate the end of the week there with the youngsters at Texas Tech University and wind that thing up there for them.
Whenever we talk about the pig industry, hog industry, as people think of Iowa, some of those states as big producers, but down here in Texas, it's a strong agricultural commodity.
It certainly is, and that stretches from the commercial to the show industry. Livestock shows in Texas are big business. From Fort Worth, where we start in our year, and then winding up in Houston at the end. Large businesses. When you go there, it's more than just the rodeo. People come to see animals and see kids interacting with those animals and the things that they can learn from that.
Well, and that's one of the great things about the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo, and if it's anywhere close to where it was last year, the grand champion hog brought $55,000 in the auction. So that puts some change in a kid's pocket that may pay for their college on down the road. So it's a great stock show. I appreciate what you guys do in promoting the pork industry, and thanks for sitting down with us at Stock Show Confidential.
Thank you and your group.
All right. Stock Show Confidential brought to you by the following sponsors: Sullivan Show Supply and Stock Show University, Sure Champ, Sunglow Feeds, 5-Star Ford, WW Livestock System, EB Trailer, Luberson Livestock, and StockShowConfidential.com. This segment of Stock Show Confidential is brought to you by WW Livestock Systems, the leader in livestock handling equipment. Welcome back to Stock Show Confidential. We're going to sit down with David Kempen and talk about PED, or porcine epidemic diarrhea. It's a virus that has affected the hog industry tremendously throughout the country. David, one of the things that we're hearing a little bit of talk about in the industry is PED. Tell my viewers exactly what that is and what we can do to combat it.
It's an extremely strong virus that travels on your clothing. Whatever it comes in contact, it can latch onto it. The rate of PED in Texas is primarily in the larger farms on a very limited basis at this point. It's very prevalent in the Midwest. The results are catastrophic in baby pigs. Most of the baby pigs that get it will not survive. It's a diarrhea and enteritis that interacts in their stomach, and it's a virus, like I said, that's highly volatile. We're doing the best we can to notify producers in Texas right now. It's not if we're going to get it, it's when we're going to get it and how to react to it. So as an association, we try to be proactive with this and try to teach our producers, because we have a lot of small guys that aren't really in tune with biosecurity, about what they need to do to protect their 4 or 5 sows.
Sure.
Because as I said, it's not if it's going to get here, it's when it's going to get here, and we need to react to that now.
Well, and that's one of the things coming to these stock shows like this, and you see so many hogs brought from so many different areas. Somebody's walking through the barn, their shoes get contaminated, their clothing, like you said, get contaminated. So they want to make sure that they're taking some precautions there whenever they get back home, of changing those clothes before they go out to their barn.
We have a pork quality assurance program that we encourage our producers to participate in, that talks about biosecurity and things to do with your clothing and shoes and your tack. The Texas FFA and 4-H have a program called Quality Counts, which is a substitute for youth PQA that teaches youngsters not just show ring ethics, but how to protect themselves and their animals from disease. What to do with that show stick and that feed sack and that tack box and the trailer when they get home, rather than just exposing all the animals home to that, how to disinfect and make sure that taking every precaution to eliminate any transfer of disease from a show to a farm. The instance of the diseases that these shows has been minimal, if not even, I haven't seen much evidence at all.
Well, and that's one of the things when we talk about the stock show industry, it's not just about showing pigs, it's about these life lessons that they're getting from being associated with people such as yourself, the judges that they interact with, but also the knowledge that they're going to gain when we talk about PED and some of those things that, it's going to increase their knowledge.
It's going to help because most of them are going to become consumers at some point. And the first thing they pick up when a news flash comes on, say for you remember the swine flu, it wrecked our markets. And it wasn't really a pig problem.
Right.
But the perception of swine flu drove people away from eating pork. It wasn't a meat issue. PED is not a meat issue. It doesn't affect the product. But when it gets out there, people react to it in a way. So if we can educate consumers, these potential consumers, they're going to be our allies.
David, thank you, my friend.
Oh, appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. When we get back, I'm going to select the Grand Champion Barrow at the 2014 Fort Worth Stock Show.
Well, friends, be sure and check out StockshowConfidential.com, our Breeders' Corner. We have the top lamb, goat, pig, and cattle breeders listed there. Check it out. And this week, we're going to highlight some of the top breeders listed there. For over 25 years, Delm's Prevailing Genetics has been a leading source for constant, predictable genetics that'll yield championship results. In the past 12 years, they've produced 28 Grand and Reserve Champion Barrows at the Texas Majors. They have over 120 years of combined barrow feeding experience, and they'll help you in any way that they can. Check them out at DelmsPrevailingGenetics.com. If you'd like to be part of this exciting opportunity to showcase your breeding program or have an upcoming sale that you would like to promote, contact me at Terry at StockshowConfidential.com.
Congratulations.
Representing Cross, Claire McCormick from Canyon. Okay, folks, let's get all of these champions from all six breeds a really good round of applause. They are your champions for the Grand Champion Prize.
It's really been gratifying the last 2 days. The quality of the kids and the quality of the hogs has been exceptional. And at that time, I'm just going to lay down the mic here and grab the banner and go out and award your champions. So let's give them all a hand.
Congratulations, Claire McCormick, Canyon.
Well, I'm with a pretty young lady from Canyon, Texas, Claire McCormick. Claire, just won Grand Champion here at Fort Worth. Let's talk about this pig, where he came from, and how'd you think he did today overall? I mean, obviously Grand Champion, you can't do much better than that, but is there anything that you would have done different today?
Honestly, I probably could have tried to show a little harder, but other than that, I think I did pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I know your dad's back there in the background. He's pretty proud of you right now. Is this a family operation? Dad help you a lot?
Yes, sir, it is. We normally do this as a family. It's a really fun family activity, so.
This is not the first time you've been in the winner's circle. You won Denver last year, right?
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, but this is your very first time to ever come to Fort Worth.
Yes, sir, and it's my first time to win a Texas major.
That is incredible. I tell you what, you know, it's a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to showcase young people such as yourself and the great job that you do. If you could tell your dad one thing or your mom one thing about how this year has gone, what would you tell them?
Really successful. I'm thankful to have them around to help me.
Well, we'll see how some of the other majors do for you as well.
Okay.
And good luck. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Most of you around ringside that know me know that I'm not a man of a lot of words, I guess. I've always kind of felt like I was a thinker, not a talker, and so I did my best and tried to describe the hogs to the best of my ability. And I guess I always say this when I do county fairs. You know, I think the hogs are just a tool we're using to groom tomorrow's leaders, and the kids are the greatest asset that we have. I'm Jamie Sarin from Kyoto, Iowa, and I was the official barrow judge for the 2014 Fort Worth Barrow Stock Show. I was really impressed with the quality of the barrow show here at Fort Worth Stock Show. The top end could have went anywhere in the United States and been extremely competitive in any state. The Grand Champion came out of the crossbred division. I thought this hog just exemplified an immense amount of quality, and yet he was a hog that was really flexible and sound in his build. He was wide in his structure, and he just excelled the pack in the fact that he was just so unique in his overall high quality. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce my dad. He's been up in the stands kind of watching, and I asked him, I said, did you stay warm, did you get cold? And he said, no, I just had fun. He said, I've never met such a bunch of friendly people anywhere. So everybody's welcomed him as well, and it's been really gratifying, the warm welcome we've had to Texas and to be a part of this. Livestock's a huge part of agriculture because it gets kids involved. Kids that are busy with livestock projects don't have time to get in trouble. They're busy, they learn responsibility, they learn work ethic. I don't think there's a better way to raise kids than with livestock. I'm not necessarily saying you had to be born in a barn, but I think it's good to be raised in a barn because they learn husbandry skills and responsibility, and you know, they learn that the livestock's got to come first. Well, I'm currently a 4-H leader, and that's a good place to start because you can join 4-H at the end of your 4th grade year in school. And 4-H is just not livestock and agriculture. It has all kinds of other things too, whether it be gardening or refinishing, woodworking, home economics. And then from then on, once they get into high school, their freshman year, they can become part of FFA and VOAG. So 4-H is probably the best place to get started. And a lot of these kids today have probably come up through 4-H programs or maybe now in FFA programs.
Congratulations to Hayden Wisdom from Levelland for being our reserve grand champion. Folks, let's give our judge a real big round of applause for helping us the last 2 days. Thanks a lot, Jeremy. Safe trip back to Iowa tomorrow for you and your dad. This is the 118th edition of the Junior Barrow Show. Stay warm.
Well, once again, friends, thanks for joining us on another edition of Stockshow Confidential. As the dust settles here in Cowtown, it's been a great swine show. We thank you each and every week for tuning in. Until next time, I'm Terry Jordan saying, here's hoping that we'll see you in the winner's circle.
I'm going to be a fire truck.
Oh, you're going to be a driver.
Closed captioning brought to you by Stand Alone Feeds.